van, és várom, hogy jelenetnek megint a hölgyek. Van egy különleges vendégünk a Márta, és van egy curator hölgy, aki szintén mond valamelyik Tim.
Meg a Leroy.
Leroy-jal csináltuk a fotókat.
Jó estét kívánok mindenkinek. My name is Tim. I'm the owner of Vittula and this gallery. Én vagyok a Vittula-nak a tulajdonosa, meg a Vittula Gallery volt Chinese characters, volt omnivore, volt valami más, elfogyott a nevük. Itt tartunk, hogy Vittula Gallery. Üdvözlök mindenkinek. Itt mellettem a Helena Krupin, meg a Márta Kicsiny, és ők fognak folytatni a beszélgetést, mivel elfogyottam mivel mondani.
I don't speak Hungarian, I don't know what to say.
Oh, okay. I'm sure they probably don't know what I said either, don't worry.
So, I'm Helena. I created this exhibition together with Leroy and Kristóf, the artists of the show. And it's about the subculture and underground scene of Budapest of the last 15 years. Leroy took pictures of the last 4 years here. Those are the pictures in black and white over here and here as well. And Kristóf was documenting the life in Budapest for the last 15 years, which are the pictures in color here, and also 1,600 photos here in the show, which takes a while to see them all, but it's interesting as well. And the color pictures over there are from Kristóf as well. And Marta? Yeah.
Okay,
continue.
Sure. So basically, like, the underground culture in Hungary has had quite a long history. Obviously, before the political change during the Soviet party regime, there was quite a strong subculture which was illegal. And then during the political change, everything became legal and they managed to have their own first venues. Like mainly the punk scene had the Fekete, for example. And afterwards, in these photographs, we can see how the scene has developed. But of course, after like 15, 20 years, the question arises, is this like still a relevant or authentic scene? Or has it been like gentrified, etc.? And I think that like now with the current political and cultural policies, I think now like the fact that there's an underground scene, it's becoming more and more relevant and more important. And I think that like the Vittula is a really good independent venue with a lot of like freedom and opportunities. I think that like these photographs have got of different nature, and I think Kristóf's are a lot more like this kind of composition of little memories which develop into this huge collective like memory of the underground scene in the last decades. And that's exciting because like many of us have noticed Kristóf pointing a camera at us before, and we can like find ourselves in these images. So it's an interesting reflection for us about what does he think of us and how does he record us. But also for people who have not always been in the scene for 20 years, it's also interesting for us to be able to delve into the past and understand what happened before in these scenes and getting to know other scenes which we didn't know. And with Leroy's photos, I think it's really exciting because he uses the kind of 20th century tradition of documentative black and white photography, but yet it's very intimate. And it's like quite amazing that he created this intimacy, even though he's only temporarily here always, and I think he can't speak Hungarian, but yet it's amazing that he got so close to these people, and yet there's this like monumentality to his paintings, his images, his photographs, and what else? Like I think Budapest, like I think they both have this really interesting mentality because they're all international people moving to Budapest at a certain time in their life, and I have done that as well, so I can kind of relate to this because you can see scenes from afar and you can understand it more in a way, and you can consciously choose which scene to take part in. And I think that's how they're able to document this all with this kind of objectivity as well. And generally, I think Hungary and like Budapest has got quite a cool underground scene compared to other countries, because here I think it's still, even though it has its own rich and diverse culture, it's still accessible and it's still welcoming. And that's, I think, a really nice thing compared to other countries like in Europe and stuff. And yeah, and I think, and also like as a final note, I think the scene in Budapest is quite exciting because like although it functions like with very low amount of money and like not many people have money, but also the scenes don't ask for money, and that creates this kind of freedom and openness for programs, which is really refreshing and really cool. So I think let's like celebrate this scene with these images and all these events. So I hope you enjoy the concerts and the photos.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
And apart from the exhibition here in the room, which is like not only an exhibition opening, but just the exhibition because it's only open tonight. We also have two special acts which will like start right now, and after that we have two bands playing over there as well, so enjoy the evening.
Thanks.
Köszönjük szépen mindenkinek, egyetek, nyugodtan. Következő lesz a T-Bali.